welcome to Behind Them Sticks. This is your boy Ham Solo. I am with an awesome guest today, KMEGA. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Oh man, appreciate it. Really do appreciate the invite, man. It's an honor. And man, I see you've been doing things, man. I know that you're new to the scene, but you know what I'm saying, it's still always great to have somebody in the community come and wants me to come on to their podcast or to their one-on-ones and things like that. So yeah, keep doing the good work that you're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? This is great, man. But I'm very appreciative of the invite, man, for sure.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Doc.
Yes, no doubt.
All right, so let's get a little bit into it. As usual, I ask everybody the same question. What gaming and social media platforms are you on so people can contact you, check you out, see what you're up to, yada yada. Go ahead.
All right. I am on Twitter. That's where I'm mostly at. Always kind of jumping in and out. And that's at KMEGA4 on Twitter. I do have an Instagram, which is KMEGA405. I rarely put stuff on there. I'm starting to get better at that. Also, you can catch me on my YouTube channel. That's where I do my podcast. The GRG podcast every Friday night, 8 p.m. on my channel, which is KMEGA405. Also, do another podcast called The Dev and the Gamer. That's a little sporadic. We got it set to where we do it every other week. Sometimes if it's holidays or there's other pressing issues that we kind of do a little bit later. But yeah, The Dev and the Gamer. I'm the gamer. I got my friend the Don, who is a game developer, and we try to give a little insight of how I look at things and how he looks at things. And so check that out. And then lastly, man, you can check me out also on Twitch because I do stream. I stream on Sunday nights. So right after this, which this will be posted later, but
Yeah.
But after this, I'm going to be doing Fight Night Sundays.
Hell yeah.
And that's usually around around 10:30 on Sundays, and then we kind of go a little long, but so if you enjoy watching fighting games, we play all different types of fighting games. Sometimes it's me by myself, sometimes it's a whole group of people. You never know who's going to jump in, and that's really fun. So yeah, I'm doing those things.
Definitely invite me to one of those. I wouldn't mind checking it out.
Oh man, come on!
I'm down
on
with
in.
Some fight night or
anybody's welcome, man.
I just purchased Tekken 7. So I'm down to get on that. Whatever. Yeah, definitely. I'm not great at it. I might get tossed up, but
it doesn't matter. This isn't. It's the whatever that your level is. It's fine. It doesn't matter if you're a novice in fighters or if that's the whole thing of it. This is about celebrating fighting games and letting people know about so many other fighting games out there that maybe people don't know about, and especially a lot of fighting games that's on Xbox. But we also play fighting games on PC, on PlayStation, on Nintendo. So it's just one of those things. It's just a celebration for it because I love fighters. It's one of my favorite genres out there. So I got to show the love to the fighters.
Did you mention all the consoles that you said you play on?
No, but yeah, I have a Nintendo Switch. I have a PlayStation 4. I will eventually get a PlayStation 5 here at a later time. I got a gaming PC, and I have the Xbox One X, and then also have the Xbox Series X, and also, but that's mostly for my wife in the front room. That's have the Series S in there. So. But yeah,
we got a little Xbox family going on.
Yeah. Got a little Xbox family, but we definitely I game, and then I also got a 360 that's in the front room too. So, you know what I'm saying? Still got to do my thing, play some whips every once in a while.
Hell yeah. All right, so I know we chatted a little bit about this before the show, but please tell me what have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Been no life Forza until I said, look, man, I got to take a break. I mean, I sit there and I bought the premium edition of Battlefield 2042. So I mean, that's a waste of money if I'm not going to play it. So I played that last night and put Forza up for a little bit, and then also been playing a little bit of Riders Republic. That's another fun game. It's a really fun game. It just brings out some of that old nostalgia from some of them old games back in the days.
Like
used
cool
to play on PlayStation.
Borders,
Cool Borders and all that. Yeah, it's really, really cool. It's also kind of got that vibe, not as tricky-ish, but it has that vibe a little bit. So yeah, I've been in that rotation.
You know what I've been telling people about that game, and I don't think a lot of people quite understand where I'm coming from, but I think you've been gaming long enough to remember this game. For the original PlayStation, I think it was like called ESPN X Games.
Oh yes,
or something like that, where you could street luge, ride a bike.
That's it.
And what was the other thing that you could
Extreme 2. There was a game called Extreme 2. Yes. I could take it even further and go to games that was called Skate or Die back on the NES.
Yes, I remember that
one. And there was another game that was on the NES where it was a gorilla character. It was surfing something. I forgot what that game actually named was. But I loved those games.
I remember Street Skater.
Yep, Street Skater. You go, and I've never really been a big Tony Hawk gamer, but of course Tony Hawk was big when it first came out, and
Dave Mirra too.
Right. Like, so I mean that's what Riders Republic kind of gives you, is that a little bit of everything put into one package of those old nostalgia games. Even
grabs a little bit of Steep too with the whole.
Right,
like,
it does.
Like,
and I never played Steep. Right. So when I had he had Steep, and he was telling me that those things were in there. So I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, no, the game is it's fun. It's so different from anything else that's out there right now. And that's one thing I love about Ubisoft, is because they're not afraid to take chances. I know a lot of people have a couple of issues about where they're going with their games going to a service with Assassin's Creed and now Far Cry 6. I just been reported Friday. But I love what Ubisoft does. They're very unique with what they do. Their takes, their storylines, all of that.
Yeah, man. I mean, a lot of people have been given a lot of, hard takes or bad, or I shouldn't say bad, but some rough takes on Ubisoft. And for me, the way I look at it is like, every game might not hit for me personally. Like Assassin's Creed isn't really my thing. I mean, there are some other Ubisoft games that I can't just name them right off the top of my head that are just not my kind of games, but they're consistent. They're seemingly ready, because I mean, you look at how many games that they've put out already for this generation of games, and then you look at any other. The only other one that that's been putting out multiple games maybe is like Insomniac. You know what I'm saying? Like they put out Ratchet and Clank and Spider-Man, but how many other developers do you know out there that have put out look at Ubisoft. They put out like 4 or 5 games, maybe 6 already.
Yes.
And it's just been a year.
Just been a year. Just been the first year within the generation. Absolutely right. Yeah. No, I mean, that's a great point. I would put Activision in there because, of course, that they throw a lot of CODs in there. And then they also had Diablo. And I know that they don't have Destiny anymore, but they also, they put out a lot of games as well. But their cash cow is always going to be coming annually, and that's Call of Duty. And so they're prepared as well.
I guess EA has kind of done that too as well. It really depends on the developer team, though. What kind of games you're gonna get.
Yeah, you talk about the sports games, yes, absolutely.
Yeah, because you talk about the sports games, you get kind of cringy, but then you talk about It Takes Two, and you're like, whoa, now that game is like insane. I don't know if you've ever played It Takes Two.
No, I haven't, and I was wanting to play with somebody, but I haven't got a chance to play with anybody yet.
I'd be down to play with you. I'd be down to play, man. Okay, that game is so much fun.
I've heard a lot of people say it's fun. That's why I bought it, because I was like, oh, okay, well, I can join and stream it sometime.
It Takes Two, and I highly recommend their other game, A Way Out. Really good.
Oh, yeah, I do have A Way Out as well. So
really good game.
I do have A Way Out. Well, no, that's wrong. I don't have A Way Out. It was I have it through EA Play, but I never did buy that game. But I did buy It Takes Two. So
I actually ended up getting A Way Out when it was on Xbox Live Gold, back when Xbox Live Gold actually had decent games.
Oh man, there you go, being messy. Oh my goodness, yeah.
They they got some rough games now on Xbox Live Gold that they give away.
They're not, they're comparable to what PlayStation offers. Yeah, no, they're not in the same league when it comes to the free games like that anymore. Game Pass is there.
Yep. They said get Game Pass or
Yeah.
get going.
Get going.
All right, man. Well, let's move on. So, obviously, you're a creator and everything like that. You've been gaming for a long time as well. From generation to generation, you've seen plenty of things happen within the industry. Let me ask you this question. Why is it so important to you? Why is gaming so important to you?
I can always go back to this point of saying that gaming is, I'm an only child, and so when you're only child, you don't have brothers or sisters to talk to, or to your family, your adult family doesn't interact with your cousins. They're not always there all the time. Things like that. You can go outside and play, but then sometimes if they might get in trouble, you can't play out there with them and stuff. So gaming has always been a thing to fall back on for me. And how I started off playing games was when I was 3 years old. And my mom was at the laundromat, and she was playing. I was at the laundromat, and I was bugging her, and she was like, "Here, take these quarters and go play this. And go sit down somewhere. Go play this thing. Go play that thing over there." She didn't even call it an arcade or nothing. She just called it a thing, and it was a table arcade. So that tells you how far back we're going. And it was Pac-Man. It was just regular Pac-Man, and I was hooked. And then, I lost. I was 3. I didn't know what I was doing. And I'm sure that I asked for a lot of money because I kept losing, but that was my first fascination. And then there was pinball. And then the laundromat went ahead and jumped up and had the Joust and Defender tall arcade systems in the laundromat. And then at that point in time, it was all she wrote. Then I was all in. I was all in because it was just it kept me bugging my mom, and it kept me entertained. So that's what kind of started me off in the game. And the thing for me though, to get back to your point, is that it also kept me out of a lot of trouble. When I was out there running the streets, being wild, there was times that me and the homies would go somewhere, and then, there would be those one moments, oh man, these dudes over here, blah, 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 blah. And like, oh man, we playing like Bill Walsh football. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Bill Walsh football, or we were playing, you know what I'm saying? Or we was playing hockey '94, or
like some
or we were playing we were playing college football. That NCAA was raw back then. I remember, they didn't have the player. I don't think they had the players' names back then. I can't remember.
No, they never had players' names.
I didn't have the players' names
in like any of the NCAA game, like Game Breaker. Or NCAA football by EA Sports. Or
they were just a number, but we always used to call them by the names because we used to watch a lot of sports. Right. So
you'd almost go in there and name them sometimes.
Yeah. And so this is the reason why I was saying that, because now I'm showing my age, and so I'm getting forgetful. But my favorite team was the Maryland Terrapins, which they had Ibuki, they had Hip, they had Joe Smith. They had Marcus Camby. They were loaded. So I was, so we was doing all that, playing with them.
And you talking about basketball?
Yeah, the college basketball game. Yeah.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. And so anyway, but no, I'm just telling you just certain games. I'm just giving you all the games that we were playing.
At
that time and stuff. And so
Duke was nasty in every single game.
Oh yeah, that was the team that I always fought with Duke. You know what I'm saying? So because I'm from Oklahoma, so my Sooners, they were Duke, they were good, but they couldn't mess with Duke. So I had to go with the Terrapins, but no, just like when things was going crazy, there was a lot of wild stuff going on. The homies some of the homies would stay behind and just win a game, and other people, they went left, and the next thing you know, they got in trouble, got themselves in positions. And so then, if I wasn't gaming, then I would have been out in the streets like that. So, and that's the thing for me, is like, it's helped me along. Like that. It's kind of always been my friend, something I could depend on when it's just, we want to kind of get out of the world when things is rough and tough, and you just want to zone out and just play some games and get into it, get into your own world. So yeah, that's how I look at game. That's how important gaming is to me, and that's why I see me gaming until the day that I die, or until I can't do it no more. That's just me. I love gaming. I've been doing it.
So I get arthritis and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's death or it's just I can't do it. Like, the fingers just fall off or they just can't move anymore. But
they're making me like expert accessibility.
Right, like thank God for the accessibility, man. Because I'm like, man, okay, you give me an opportunity to still game, but but no, that to me it's always been a lifesaver for me. And then of course, I'll just make this point. It was a great bonding experience between me and my son. Growing up and then having that first experience for him, experiencing Halo, and then he was gaming on Nintendo, GameCube, and things like that. But the one main moment is when we got to when I told him he could stay home from school, and I said, man, I said Halo 2 was coming out, and so they're going to have a midnight launch. And that meant the world to him. That was like one of those things for him, like, what? I was like, yeah. So we got there, and then he just never seen anything like that with people standing outside. Mm-hmm. We out there, and there's everybody talking about gaming and just having a good time. And that was that moment where, there's plenty of other father and son moments, but within the gaming aspect of it, that's something that he still brings up and talks about to this day. So, and he's 27, 28 here. So in February. So it's one of the things to me like that means a lot. And and my daughter, she plays games, but not like that. She's more into entertainment and all that other stuff. But she was a little wee girl back in the days, wanting to play bowling and things like that. But
she is more in the interactive.
Yeah, she's more in the interactive stuff. But for me, it's just something that it's my favorite hobby next to music, and it's always going to be there. As long as there's opportunities to play games and I can do it, I'm going to do it.
Go. Well, here's kind of a similar question, but it kind of goes into a different direction. What kind of drew you to, content creation specifically? So now you kind of confess your, love and everything for gaming. Yeah. What actually brought you to content creation?
It was a weird situation because I never really thought about that. I would just listen to people. I was really big on the G4, the game trailers, all that stuff. I wasn't ever really paying attention to like YouTubers until I started listening to Angry Joe, and he was entertaining,
fun.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, all right, cool.
His Madden review is vicious.
Right. Oh yeah, he's cold-blooded, man. He's cold-blooded. And then so what it made me do was venture out and start listening to other people that because I wasn't hearing about Xbox, and this is in 2013. I'm a late bloomer to YouTube. And so I started, first person I ran into was Crap Gamer's video channel. And he was talking about NBA 2K, 2K5. And so I was like, oh, okay. And then there was a YouTuber named B Shadows. And then there was Next Gen 720. And then, so I was listening to all these guys and I'm like, oh man, this is crazy. I'm like, oh wow. And so then there was another group that was called We Game Here. And so I listened to them probably the most at that time. And We Game Here had people in there like Kid Smooth, Big Kahuna, Xbox 448, King Dre, there was my boy Detroit Reaper, Rise and Grind. So I'm like, I'm digging all what they're talking about and things like that. So I was listening to them, and then something so happened, I was playing on the Xbox, and I seen one of them, and so I was like, man, Titanfall's out here. Let me try to play with one of these guys. I was feeling starstruck for a little bit because I was like, when did they accept it? So they accepted, they let me in, and I told them I was a listener and stuff, and I liked this stuff and everything. And then everybody just started talking about gaming and everything. And then long story short, Kid Smooth was like, hey man, you seem like you got knowledge into the gaming, man. How about you think about podcasts? What? Come on, man. No, I can't do that. That's ridiculous. No, I'm too old. I'm older than y'all, man. You know what I'm saying? People ain't trying to listen to no old dude talking about no video game. No, man, you be perfect. And so Big Kahuna was like, man, I'm older than you. And so that was how I was born. So that's it. So I was just like, all right, let me try it. So I started in 2014. And then I stopped for a little while. Had some real life serious situations. My grandfather passed away at that time, and then went through a really rough relationship and had to leave out of a 10-year relationship. And then so life was all crazy at that time, and so I stepped away, left, and then I ran into my boy Infrared Beam. We was talking. An Xbox 448, he was bringing up the situation. He was going to start a podcast, and then I ran into Infrared Beam. Made me talk, not let me talk, but introduced me to 100, and then they had Intro Media Gaming, and then that's kind of like how everything kind of started. And then I met Next Gen, and then that's how the ball started rolling. And so next thing you know, I was over here being a guest on some of these podcasts, and the next thing you know, I was being part of these podcasts, and that's just how the whole thing just kind of flowed. Now I'm at this point.
Isn't the community crazy?
The community's crazy, man. So I'm just saying, like, I mean,
I barely scratched the surface, and I'm just meeting people left and right, and it's
It's crazy. Like Dirt Griggity is kind of like the same. He got the same type of situation. He was listening to certain people, and then next thing you know, he was like, somebody told him, hey man, why don't you do it? And now look at where he's at now. So big shout out to We Believe Green and to those guys out there, man. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, it's not easy work. It's because it is work, and some people don't get paid from it, and some people do, and but it's more for the love. If you're not doing it for the love, if you're doing it for trying to get fame or try to make a quick buck, you're going to fail, because you have to have love for this. You have to have real good passion for it. So.
Yeah, man, and that's a really cool way for somebody to enter the gaming space. Is like you just had a bunch of people kind of holding you up and letting you know, hey man, it's okay. Come on in. Don't matter who you are. It looks like you care. So come on.
Right. No, and you can't. Nobody can actually say from because I mean Dealer was around a year, started a year or so before I did, and I remember when Dealer was just getting started himself, and like look how long it took before he got to the position where he's at, but. People and I got love for all these people that show me that. Like, I mean, even though I might not talk to some of these people anymore, have those interactions like that, but I still always, pay homage to them for giving me the opportunity to let my voice be heard by so many people. So, man, I'll never be in a position to feel like I don't owe those people some kind of thanks for that.
That's what's up. All right, so. Here's another kind of fun question that might kind of throw you, back into the past a little bit.
Right. All right.
Have you remembering some things? What's your most memorable moment in gaming? It doesn't have to be community or anything. Just anything. What's a memorable moment that just like captured?
E3. Going to E3 for the first time. Going to E3 for the first time. That was the most amazing thing ever. Like, because at that time it was that transition of, once you get caught up into the console war stuff, you're talking, you're listening, and you defend yourself if people don't have it, don't listen to you or whatever, and just that type of vibe. But sometimes YouTube and the social media can kind of take you out of the reality of what gaming is and the joy of it. And once I hit E3, that changed everything for me, man. Like I was like, oh, I'm sitting here looking at a dude draped in PlayStation gear, and he had a PlayStation shirt, he had a PlayStation chain, he had a PlayStation hat, he had PlayStation, he had the PlayStation shoes from Paul George. He was just PlayStation out, right? And he's up in the Xbox Center, in the Microsoft Center, standing in line wanting to play Sea of Thieves. Wild, like wild. And then we're sitting here and I'm talking with people that's excited for Kojima's game because nobody didn't know what to think of Death Stranding at the time, but they were excited about it. So we're talking about it, and there are people excited to play Sea of Thieves, and then you just that whole vibe and these are people from all across the world that's coming here and vibing, and it's all adults, and it's just unison. There's no hate, there's no clowning, there's no
so in other
this
words,
game's trash.
All that fake
like it made you realize that the little garbage that happens on social media in these little communities are trash, are just absolute bullshit. Like the real thing is what you see out in the real world. Gamers just love to game, and it doesn't matter what platform it is. It's just that if you have a love for gaming, then that's it. And E3 just brought that. So that's definitely my most memorable time in my gaming life. It was beautiful. It was so cool.
Can't really beat that. That's pretty dope.
Yeah. I'd say if anybody that's really deep into gaming like that, you have to experience it at least once. And so hopefully, I know because of the pandemic and everything that's been shut down, but they're supposed to be starting back hopefully next year. And that it's just special to talk to developers, to sit there and I got to meet Phil Spencer, Kareem Khatri, to not Matt Booty, but Ed Boon. I got to took pictures with Ed Boon and talk to him about Mortal Kombat and Killer Instinct, and it's nuts. It's just crazy. The just the vibes out there, and then there's a lot of like cool parties and stuff to go to as well. So like they like to throw down. They like to have some good adult parties out there too. So yeah, it's popping out there.
That's what's up, man. Yeah, that's a really good story.
Yeah.
But here's a little game that I play with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Without overthinking, what's the first game that comes to mind after I say the console? Understand that?
After you say the console?
Yeah, after I say the console, you gotta guess, or you don't have to guess, but you have to say the first game that comes to mind.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
That's related to that console. Now, how far in the back can I dip? Like
you can go all the way to the Atari. I mean, now you can't go to the Magnavox because I was way too young when the Magnavox came out in the early 70s. But Atari and on, you could just say them, and I got it. I got you.
All right, and just for anybody watching, I do not know every single video game in the world, but I will do my best to make sure that we are on course in getting correct answers. But with that being said, I'm going to start out with something a little wild.
Okay.
Jaguar.
Woo, he did come wild with that. Primal Rage.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So now we're going to jump a little bit further into the future, and we're going to hop on Xbox.
Halo.
All right. Really quick, easy answer. Genesis. Sega Genesis.
Oh, Eternal Champions.
Sega CD.
The game is right there in my head. Supreme Warrior.
Supreme Warrior. All right.
Supreme Warrior. That was my lick on Sega CD.
Original PlayStation.
Tekken.
Oh.
Tekken.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
PlayStation 3.
God of War. That wasn't the first one, but I couldn't think of the name of the Ninja Theory game that came out on PlayStation 3. Because that was the first thing that came to my mind, but I couldn't think of the name. With the Ninja Theory made that game. It was with it was a female character. She had it was a hack and slash game, and I can't think of it, so I just gotta have to just go with God of War 3 right now.
Okay.
So all right. So.
GameCube.
Smash Brothers, because my son played that game a million times.
Okay. N64.
Clay Fighter.
All right. Xbox One X.
Oh, right there off the bat. Come on now. Quantum Break.
I love this game because I just get to see people just like they're just like you can see the
you're right, like because I'm like
going.
I got it right there because the first thing it said Remedy, and I'm like, what is that? Quantum Break.
Oh man, all right, Dreamcast.
Oh, Power Stone.
Okay, perfect. NES.
Kid Nicky.
Game Boy.
Pokemon Blue and Gold, or whatever. I bought it for my son. So
Wii.
Mario Sports or whatever that's that sports game that came with the Wii U. I mean with the Wii. I'm sorry.
Wii Sports.
Yeah, Wii Sports. That's it. Yeah. I you know what I'm saying? I just knew it was Wii Sports. That's it. That's what I was just telling you. I'm playing it with my daughter like crazy. So.
All right. Xbox Series S.
The S. So. Because I'm thinking, because it's in the fun room and my wife is playing on it. So I would say Tetris. That the latest Tetris game.
Okay.
She plays the hell out of that game. So.
Yeah, that game is addicting, and
it is very good.
The music in that game is
good. It's just beautiful. Yeah, it's really great.
All right, let's just do a couple more. PlayStation 2.
Legend of Legaia 2.
Ooh, nice, really nice. I didn't think anybody would ever mention that game.
Yeah.
All right, and then let's go to Game Gear.
GameCube or Game Gear?
Game Gear.
Oh my God! I never owned a Game Gear. You got me on that one. Never owned a Game Gear.
Okay, this will be easy. Nomad.
Nope. Nomad.
Sega Nomad.
Oh no, never owned that either. No, never messed with that. No.
So what you don't know maybe is Nomad is literally the same thing. It's kind of a trick question.
Oh.
It's like asking you if what game's on the Sega Genesis because it took the same cartridges.
Really?
Yeah, so it's a trick question.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know what. So Nomad was okay. So that was the code name for the Sega Genesis at the time.
No, it wasn't a code name for it. The Nomad was a handheld that you put the batteries in the back of, but they took Sega Genesis cartridges.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know anything about it. So yeah, no. And I knew about the Game Gear, but I didn't know anything about the Nomad.
Yeah, the Nomad.
So that's a new one for me. You got me. Even like I said, even the old dog knows new tricks, man. I did not know anything about the Nomad.
All right, and the last one I'm gonna say is PS5.
Oh, I would say Ratchet and Clank.
Okay, ripped apart. Got it. All right,
you didn't say PlayStation 4.
Why didn't I say PlayStation 4?
Yeah, you didn't say PlayStation 4.
No, because it's just not in today's show.
Oh, okay, I got you. Yeah.
All right, so
that was fun. That was real fun.
Yeah, that was hilarious. That was really good.
Right.
What gaming genre do you refuse just not to play? Like you ain't with.
Dark Souls games. I can't do them. I can't do that genre game.
Too much stress.
Just a waste of time. Like I'm too old for that. Like I mean, I've tried numerous times. I own Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3. I even bought them again because I was thinking like maybe just the frame rates or something was off on the console, so I bought them on the PC. And no, they're just
you get your ass whooped at a fast frame rate.
Yeah, by the first balls tearing my ass up, and I'm like, man, oh no, bro, no.
He said, you want some of this at 60 frames?
Yeah. Like, you want this at 60 frames or higher? No, you don't. You don't want that fade. Go ahead.
Come back at 120 and we'll try it.
Yeah. Go ahead and cut it off because you done. You done. You right. You win. You better than me. You better. So.
All right. So Souls games ain't it.
Ain't it for me. Souls games ain't it. And that's sad because I really do I really am intrigued about Elden Ring, but
Me too, but I'm just not ready if I'm ready to get into that ring.
right, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I need to look at some more stuff, man, because I really want to get into that world, into that universe. But man, that genre is it's just not my cup of tea.
Right.
Ninja games and stuff like that. I'm cool with those. Like, you know, I need some better movement. I don't need to feel like I get exhausted because and I understand that that's realism, but you're fighting a demon. So there's not no realism too much. It's not that much realism because, listen, why would I have to have stamina when I'm fighting this creature that doesn't have any stamina and just do it? I get it. I get what the premise of it is. It just frustrated me. So I just don't have time for that. Like, I'm just like, kudos to anybody that loves that. I would never hate on a game, but that's just not for me.
All right. So what were the best 3 games this year? And then, of those 3 games, please do me the courtesy of picking your game of the year. This is fun because it's right before.
It's right before
and everything like that.
It's right before, and you know, it should be. I would definitely have a bigger list, more than 3. But all right, so let's do this. Okay, Scarlet Nexus is up there.
Thank you. Yes.
Scarlet Nexus was amazing. Psychonauts 2.
Yes.
And it's tough. We get into the nut cut. You know what? I got to put it out there because I had a smile on my face, and I've been playing this series for so long, and I'm just kind of like, wow, this game still brings those vibes. After, you know, those vibes. I mean, that whole intro of Forza Horizon 5. Yeah, I knew you were gonna say it. Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I played the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth, and now this one, and I'm still like just fully engaged. I like that intro was just tough. I was like, yo, when I saw the flamingos and the jungle, I said, yo, man, they're clowning. They're fools. Turn 10 and playground games are fools.
Right when you see that Porsche hit the water and you see all the droplets on your car.
I mean, you know, and then when you get into the actual race, it was real nuts. Real quick, I do want to say this. Like, I got a friend who, you know, he sneaks over here every once in a while and try to play games because his wife will not allow him to have a console in the house. You know, so but he'll come over here and sneak and play some games. So he came over here today. And I said, man, you got to play this racing game. He says, I remember playing that Forza Horizon stuff. Remember we played the first one back at your old house back when I was like, oh, yeah, I remember. But, you know, you got to play this one. So I let him. And one thing I do hate is I wish that you could start all the way from the beginning of when the game kicks on, right? Because I wanted him to experience everything. But when you go to that, when you're racing the plane in the very beginning, he got to experience that. And I was just watching him while he was playing. And at first he was trying to get the controls down. And then when he got to the point to where the motorcycles dropped, he was, what? And then when he was going down and saw the dude in a squirrel suit, his enjoyment level, he was like, man, I think I'm just have to tell my wife I got to get me an Xbox, man. I got to play this. So that just tells you,
like, he started a fight.
I know, I did, right?
He sent him home to get.
He was thinking about that all the, you know, when he left. He was like, man, he says, man, I want to play another race, but man, I got to go home. And I was like, man, all right. But yeah.
Well, R.I.P. to your homie.
So,
all right.
But I think out of those 3 would win. I would hope Psychonauts 2 will win. I think that like I said, there's a lot of other deserving games out there, but Psychonauts 2 was I'm not into platformers like that anymore. I used to. I mean, of course, for as long as I've been gaming, but it's not my go-to thing anymore. And so for a game like that to captivate me, to keep me engaged and play it all the way through it, I didn't play anything else when Psychonauts 2 was when I was playing it. I mean, you know, normally I kind of jump off, but no, I stayed fully engaged. I thought the story was excellent. And really deep in a lot of areas. And then just the fact of it was funny, it was witty, it was a lot of things, and I think that the work that they done out there in Double Fine shouldn't be overlooked. I think that game should be Game of the Year.
Okay, good answer. Yeah, I beat that game as well. It is really fun, really deep story, wild twist for sure.
Yeah.
You will not see it coming for a long time in the game.
No.
And so that's all I'm gonna say on that. I'm gonna leave that.
I will ask you this. What was your favorite mines where he would go through the mines and stuff? What was your favorite level, I should say, or favorite little?
The main, the main lady that was the captain of everything, going in through her mind.
Oh.
And making her make the decision that she was not going to make.
Right.
That was my favorite part, because
that was your favorite part,
because it felt so wrong, but it felt
yeah,
it's just I gotta know what's going on, and this person's trying to end the story right here, and I'm just I gotta press on to figure out what's going on, and then you end up screwing so much stuff up, and she ends up
and she was into gambling, she was in all the she was about that life. You're like, what happened? I'm like, oh wow.
So yeah, once I did that, I felt like that's when the game was set off. Mm-hmm. And that whole switch went on, and everything just started going wild from there. So that was my favorite. But here's a fun question as well. What is your favorite studio, and what game best represents that studio?
Wow, when I saw that question, there was 4 of them that came to mind, because I love Final Fantasy, I love Namco Bandai for what they do, because I'm a huge Tekken nut. But I also love a lot of stuff that they do as well.
Scarlet Nexus, man.
Yeah, that was Scarlet Nexus, the Tales games, all of that. But I'm gonna go say Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory has not disappointed with anything that they've dropped. I know that there were some people that was kind of upset with them about what they did with Dante and that Devil May Cry reboot. But that game was amazing. Combat was solid. The boss battles were insane. The game that I was trying to do, which I still can't think of the name of it right now, that sucks. But where I want to talk to you about the PlayStation 3 with the female protagonist with the hack and slash. That was a fantastic game. Love that game. But I just can't think of the name, which is unfortunate. And then Hellblade. Hellblade was a game for me that, it was, and that was the thing. I wasn't even looking for that game. When I first saw it, graphically, I was like, oh, I want to try this out, because this game looks nuts, and it's not a AAA title. This is a low budget title game that they got out there, and I'm like, I want to get a try. But once you play it, and it's oh, it's not that much action, but it's got puzzles. What? But then the more that I got involved into the game, and the more I was listening to her psychosis, and then you finally start revealing what the voice was, and how all that played out, and then the creep factor, and then just having the final battle with Hela, and man, I said, yo, okay, you guys are legit. And again, they did Enslave, which is a great game. And one game that I'm really partial to that maybe a lot of people don't like, and that's Bleeding Edge. I love Bleeding Edge. Bleeding Edge is a fantastic game for me. It's not for everybody, but I thought that game was really fun. And I still play it every blue moon, and there's still people that's playing the game. So yeah, no, Ninja Theory is so underrated, and I think once they drop Hellblade 2, I think, and then the other game that they're going to be working on as well, I think that they're going to start getting the respect that they deserve, in my opinion. So that's my studio right there. That's my favorite studio.
Love it. All right, so what game for the next year are you most excited about? There's a lot of stuff dropping, especially in February. It's going to be a sweaty month.
It's going to be real sweaty. For me, King of the Fighters comes out in February. God of War is going to be coming out sometime. There's going to be Horizon Forbidden West that's going to drop supposedly, I think, in February.
They even pushed Dying Light to February.
Dying Light into February. Stalker, I think, is going to be in February.
Stalker is in April, I believe.
Oh, they pushed it to April. Okay, I thought it was in February. Okay, so, there's a lot of games. There's the game that's from Bethesda that's coming out. There's Starfield. Then there's the other game that's out there. I can't think of the name of that right now.
Which one? Ghostwire Tokyo?
Ghostwire Tokyo. Yes, I'm looking forward to that. But no, the game that they revealed.
Or you're talking about Bethesda, though, right?
Yes, Bethesda. Well, it's the multiplayer game with the vampires.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about Redfall.
Redfall, right? Like there's tons of games. Woo, I'm gonna shock some people with this one. I am looking forward to God of War. I'm looking forward to it because as somebody who was nervous about the first God of War with Cory Balrog's vision of how he was going to portray Kratos, I thought he was to make him softer. I thought that was a mistake when I was reading about how I'm like, what are y'all doing, man? Come on, man, stop. You can't make Kratos soft. And then, and then the whole corny, Kratos could, make you a better dad and all that crazy junk. And so I started automatically not wanting to deal with the game because I know how Kratos has always been a badass. David Jaffrey's versions of Kratos is just that. I love that version. So I was skeptical. But then, big shout out to Sin Vendetta. He hooked me up with the game because I wasn't going to buy it. I was like, nah, I'm out. And, of course, people wanted to make it to a fanboy thing or whatever. But it was just the fact that I thought that they were going to just completely just change a character for whatever reason. And I just didn't like the way that what I was reading. Once I got to play the game, though, I was like, yo. I think God of War is right now my most anticipated game for next year. Because Starfield, I don't know enough about it. I know that, you
want to be excited, but you just don't know.
Right, I don't know. And then there's and then of course like Redfall. I don't know. I want to be excited. Stalker looks amazing.
Yes.
Scorn, I'm definitely intrigued about Scorn. But again, that's going to be a smaller title. It's not, I don't know. I think it's only going to be a bite size. I don't think it's going to be a really long title. And of course, Horizon Forbidden West, I do like that game, but overall, my favorite games and one of my favorite protagonists is Kratos, and so I have to run with him on this one. So yeah, it's going to be God of War.
Okay, I feel that.
Yeah.
For me on God of War, I am just finishing that game, the PS4 edition of that.
Mm-hmm.
The part that I just got done with was the piece where you bring back Kratos' son because he is like about dead.
Oh yeah.
And the witch woman or whatever she is
on the big turtle. Yeah. The
she
turtle
ends
house.
up healing them and whatnot.
Yeah.
So that's where I left off. I don't know if that's like halfway, 3/4, or it's pretty deep in there. I know.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. You still got a ways to go. But it's going to really start picking up because there's stuff that he's going to have to go back to, and because he knows now things is getting real. So so get ready for that. So the game is going to really start picking up. The one complaint about that game is like the canoe ride. Like, come on, man.
Yeah,
come on.
That kind of kills the game for me a little bit, man. Like it makes
kills the vibe.
It makes me just be like, all right, well, I think I'm done for today. Like,
right.
Just canoe it to the next spot and then go on.
Yeah. So that was a gripe, but once you get to get moving around and then you can fast travel, then you'll be it's solid. It's really solid. So.
Because travel in a game will make or break a game for me.
Absolutely.
Like if it takes me forever to get from point A to point B just to start a mission or something like that, like yeah, I just get I get exhausted from it, and I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna play something that's like gonna engage me completely. Which I don't mean to bring the same thing up over and over, but like Forza Horizon 5. As soon as you're done with the race, there's a next race. Like
right, there's something else to do.
Or you can fast travel somewhere and start your race real quick. And if you get all the boards and everything, like I did, you can fast travel for free. So you're just like bam, bam, bam after every race, and that game's so damn fast. Getting you through one screen to another. So like there is
it does make a difference. So I hope, and that's why maybe by that time I'll have a PlayStation 5. We'll see. I said I was going to wait for probably until 2023 to get one, but but really in the sense of things now, since I got an S and I got an X, and I was playing on my Xbox One before I gave that to my son. I was like, I can't go back. And so with the PlayStation 4, I'm like, I don't know if I can go back. But you know what I'm saying? So I love those speeds. I love the speed. But yeah, that was the only thing that bothered me about God of War was those canoe rides. Like, man, come on, man, let's get this going. I don't want to hear
the fights are fire.
The fights are
dope. And I just got the chains, so like I'm like,
you got the sword of chaos. Yeah.
I got the chains and everything, so I'm just like having a really good time. But then I get in the canoe and I'm just like,
right. Now the one thing I will say is that I love the swords of chaos. You know what I'm saying? That's but I did use the axe more. Once you increase that axe all the way full power, that axe is a bad son gun, boy. That axe is serious. But anyway, I mean, that's my game. That's my most anticipated game. It could definitely change by once I find more about Starfield or something like that. But for right now, today, God of War Ragnarok is my game of choice right now.
All right, bet. Next question: if you were to bring back 2 games from the past, and I mean like beyond. Now I'm gonna do this for the first time because I've never done this before. I don't want you to go like I want you to go before Xbox was made.
Oh yeah, okay. I was. Toshinden. I want Toshinden to come back. It was a fighter that was on the PlayStation 1. And I would like to see Xenogears make a return. One of my most favorite RPGs ever for me.
What about that game do you want, like because we're talking full remake?
Yeah, I want them to remake give it the Final Fantasy VII remake treatment, like redo that, redo Xenogears, and then because there was Xenogears 1 and 2, and I don't know if there was a 3. If there was a 3, I did not play it, but I did play 1 and 2, and I think if there was a 3, I think it might have been a Japanese port. But there was 1 and 2. I played both of those, beat both of those. Excellent game, excellent. Oh my God, those were some really fantastic JRPGs. And Toshinden was Battle Arena Toshinden was one of those fighters for me that I remember the old couch co-op days of having a apartment. So I'm young. I'm on my own. You know what I'm saying? and I got a house full of just people, men and women, just in the house. People drinking, having a good time. We sitting here, everybody passing the stick and trying to play. Females for the first time, ladies was trying to play the game. Everybody just having a good time, and so. But everybody was having a great time learning how to play with these characters, and it was just fun. Like,
it's hilarious.
It's just hilarious to get those vibes to see that. And Toshinden was always
more fun watching 2 awful people,
awful players playing. And then when they punching, they standing up and I got beat your ass. Yeah, it's just great. But Battle Royale Toshinden was a fantastic game. I mean, this could be a very long list, but you said 2, so I'll just leave it at those. But there's so many more that I would love to see come back. But I I would like to say this too. I want to throw this in, if you don't mind. Rygar. I would love to see Rygar come back. I know that they've done some. They brought Rygar back in on the PlayStation 2, and I believe they also ported that over to the Xbox OG. But I would love for them to do a remake of Rygar. That was my very first game that I beat when I was playing it as a kid back then, and then when I became a teenager, I finally had enough skill to beat that game. And so Rygar was like really, really one of those games for me. I would love to see them bring that back.
All right, I'm gonna do something I rarely do. I'm gonna hop on this same question. The
All
two
right,
games
let's
that I
see.
want to bring back.
Woo, let's hear it.
And I think I'm gonna change this up every episode just to give people a reminder of what was around back in the day.
Yeah.
So, one, Speed Punks for original PlayStation.
Oh,
Speed Punks. That
Yes.
game was fire because it
was
was
a
like
good game.
It was like a Mario Kart, but it was weird ass characters, super weird ass characters, and the power ups and stuff in that game. It was fun. It was fair. It was dope.
Right.
And then something else that I don't think you're gonna even see coming is Jungle Strike.
Jungle Strike. Wow. Was that the game with the helicopters?
That and
Wow,
Desert Strike.
no, I was not expecting to see that. I was not expecting Jungle. Wow. Now, if you said what was that? Warhawk, I would have been like, oh yeah, Warhawk was. I know that they brought it back on the PlayStation 3, but it wasn't even the same as like the Warhawk on original PlayStation. But yeah, no. But wow, that was a cool game. No, I liked it, but yeah, what was so special about the game? You gotta let me know. What
Just
was that?
nostalgia. I like I'd like to see it like completely redone to like still have that weird view, but just have it be more animated and brought to today's level of like being able to like creep your helicopter over a base and just like destroy it. And
That would be a good VR
crazy
game.
Yeah, just like something
That would be
like
a really
that.
cool
Like,
VR game. That one might
like I don't
get
care
me
what
into VR.
I don't care what platform it's on. I just
Right.
like think it'd be super dope just to be able to do that. And if it was VR, that'd be fun to do with the sticks, like to be able to, shoot all over the place and aim your helicopter around. That'd be dope.
That would be cool.
But yeah, that so Speed Punks and that, because I know Kart Racer is something that PlayStation is doing. I've seen it in their last state of play. But when I seen that, all I thought of was Speed Punks. I was just like, man, Speed Punks was fire. This looks childish compared to Speed Punks.
yeah. Speed Punks was wrong. That was a good game. That was a good game too. Yeah, but yeah, you got me with the second game. Man. Like, I was like, what? That was good. That was good.
Yeah, let me get in my bag. All right, so next one. It's a little dark of a question, but I'm sure you'll handle it well. What frustrates you about gaming, if anything?
Just the community. I call the people stands. A lot of people call them ponies. But when I say stands, I'm referring to all different types of. It doesn't have to refer to just PlayStation guys. It can, it can be Xbox, Nintendo, PC. That come with this thought process that all games are that the game that just because they want to do it for shock and awe is trash. You know what I'm saying? Like, or because it isn't their type of game, it's trash. Or to find reasons to try to lower rate a game because it's not on a preferred platform of their choice. That's what I hate. It is a hate for that because I don't listen. Another man's trash is another man's treasure. And for me, it's like the way that social media has become is where there's so many people that, and I say this quite a bit, is that people use the new attention is the new currency. That was the saying I go to. Is like people always try to do some kind of shock and awe type of thing in order to try to get people upset. And I get it. Like, look, not everybody's going to like everything, but we all have played really bad games in our lifetime. If we played games, we don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? Because if they're really bad, like, I'm not trying to get people to understand how bad this game is. Let them figure them out. I'd rather talk about stuff that I like or something that's up and coming, things like that. That part to me is the reason that people that at one point in time, these executives from all these companies, they're starting to get away from listening to certain type of people on the internet and podcasts and channels, because it is now turned into a popularity contest of why this is. I want to talk about other people, and then on top of that, I want to talk about how something from Xbox sucks, because this is what proves that PlayStation is more superior, or this is why, if PlayStation is down or Nintendo is down or whatever, that we should kick them while they're down, because this would only make our platform look better overall. It's not healthy, and I hate that within the community. And there's nothing wrong with going out there and speaking your mind and being and saying things. If you could be a little controversial, but to just come out and just say just dumb shit just because it'll get you a view or a click or a like. It's beyond reasoning to me at this point. So that really.
I usually believe you should put more stock into games and the developers, right. Like instead of the console itself. But I will say Xbox did kind of earn that no games role for a while because they didn't really have anything since like 2017, 2016 or anything like that. So in a way, I hear what they're saying. There are some reasonable things that can be said about it. It doesn't have to be rainbows all the time. You can be real. But when you're just like acting like you're speaking the gospel and just trashing a bunch of like a big crowd or a big group of people, saying you guys are this and you guys are used to being like that and you guys don't deserve, or you guys should come over here and quit messing with that. It's like, dude, you don't know why I'm doing what I'm doing. You don't know why I enjoy what I enjoy. Why does it bother you?
Right.
And at the same time, do you understand that a lot of these developers and publishers, like, they worked for both sides.
Right.
Like, there are people that are in PlayStation that used to work for Xbox, and there are people that are in Xbox that used to work for PlayStation. The only like when I see all these big arguments, I can help but to laugh, because I'm just thinking like, man, there has to be like a group of developers that have like some Facebook group or some it's like Twitter group or something like that, where they just point and laugh at it.
Oh yeah, no, they do that. They actually do that, and now they're starting to just. At one point in time, that they would listen because they want to know. They don't mind criticism. Like, there's a difference between constructive criticism and there's a difference between just being an ass and just wanting to just try to hurt developers' feelings. They're human beings too.
Right.
To your point about what you were saying with the Xbox not having any games, I disagree with that to a degree. Now, the only reason why I would disagree with it is because there were games. Now, were they on the level of what PlayStation was pumping out? No, at that time they weren't. But also, this is the thing that I've always also said, because I've had a lot of conversations about this in the past, was that, look, when PlayStation was going through their slowdown, and that was at the beginning of the PlayStation 4 generation, right after, their launch lineup was not that exciting. But it took them a few years until they got it, because that's when, even Yoshida and them was saying that, games was going to be sparse and things like that. It took them time because you got to have these, it takes time to make these type of games that they make, right? So for Xbox going through the turnover, going through the situation where Phil took over and all of that, and their second party situations fell through with Scalebound, and then of course Crackdown 3 didn't live up to the expectations. Stuff like that. Rightfully so, people should be critical. And I'm not saying you shouldn't be, because I was critical.
What I was trying to say is it fell so far to where you're starting to look at the company that made the console like,
right,
bro, what happened?
Right. And, but that's the thing. Like, it takes time, and that's what I'm saying. Look, good games aren't made overnight. Like, if they just make a game and it's been worked on for a year and a half, then I think that we better be worried, because they're going to be either like an indie type of title game, or that game is going to be completely broken. So big titled games, like we've been seeing, like, I mean, look how long it took Halo to be made. Like, I mean, look how long, that we're seeing for the production of The Last of Us 2, how long that took. So if some people can be patient with one, have a different standard and be patient on one end, you would think that they would do that on the other end, but of course,
I almost get a little excited when I hear that it's a delay, a little bit or something.
I do too, because I know there's going to be more polish.
I'm just like,
you're absolutely right. Yeah, like, I was like,
good.
Let it bake in the oven.
Yeah. You're openly saying, like, hey, you're better than that.
Right.
I got you.
Absolutely, 100%. But I do agree. Like, the Xbox One generation was Xbox's worst generation out of the previous two. There's no doubt about that, and.
It sucked for me because I was riding only Xbox. I didn't play I didn't get a PS3. I didn't get a PS4. I was only Xbox. So seeing just third-party games.
The third party, the second party. Yeah, like PlayStation just dominated in that category. Xbox was getting thrashed in all those categories. So So when people make those type of criticisms, they're right. You can't argue that point. But when they say that you don't have any games, it's like, man, look, I was playing games on the Xbox One because it was still my most played console, but it just didn't have those deep type of story-driven games, or what's the quote word, AAA bangers. You know what I'm saying? So and Xbox was lacking in that department. Xbox One was definitely lacking in that department. At the end
of the season right now, what PlayStation's going through is what Xbox went through for a few years.
Exactly. and that's the thing to me, is like, I'm not dogging out PlayStation because they don't have anything out there. I'm more at the point of like, look, I mean, PlayStation stands. Like, why are you not going after PlayStation, or having that same energy like you were with Xbox? Because obviously, this situation that's going on in PlayStation, there's a reason behind it, that they want to make sure that they got a lineup of games that's going to be coming out, and they know that it takes time, and they want to give the best quality games for you. You know what I'm saying? So why are you? But when Xbox was in the same predicament, you had a different thought process. That's the thing. That's the
keep
stuff.
That
like I
same
said,
energy.
Yeah, keep that same energy. So, but other than that, like, I'm not. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I don't want anything to fail, because I love gaming so much. Even though I am Xbox is my primary console. It's my go-to console. I love it to death. But it's, this is going to happen. Look at when everybody thought Nintendo was dead after the Wii U. Mm-hmm. And look at when Nintendo was kicking ass. Like, they're just dominating in some if you care about MPDs and things like that.
There were multiple times people thought Nintendo was dead.
Yeah. People thought they were going to do the same thing as
Sega. 64. They thought they were dead after the Wii. They thought they were dead after the Wii U. And then the Switch came out, and it's on its second generation right now, and it's still killing. So, I mean, and the one thing about exclusive talks, which really trips me out, is no Xbox or PlayStation fans should ever open their mouth about exclusives, because Nintendo runs that. Like, they sell the most exclusives by far than any the other big three. Like, they are when it comes to their exclusives, they run it. Like, and they're
that's
gangsters about
it. They're thugs with it. Like, they're not, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, look, we're dropping a dinosaur that eats fruit and poops out an egg. Like, what? But it sells more than damn near 90% of whatever PlayStation's offering. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's outselling your Metal Gear Solid.
Right. Like, so that's the thing. So it's one of those things for me. Is like, come on now. You know what I'm saying? At least be consistent. Don't sit here and just keep talking about exclusive this, exclusive that, when there's a platform that is really dominant with their exclusives, and that's Nintendo, hands down.
Feel that. All right, let's move back into something a little bit more positive.
All right.
To end out the show, we only got a few more questions left. what dream do you have when it comes to gaming? Like we went from completely negative, now we're in heaven. Now I'm asking you just to tell me what's the dream for gaming for you in any aspect.
Wow, that's deep. Because when you say it, it sounds different than when you read it. Look, I want cross-play to be a real thing on a lot of platforms, on every platform. I think that it's vital, especially for more niche titles. Like I say fighters are my favorite genre. Is one of my favorite genres, I should say, and that gives longevity if you have cross-play with PC, PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, mobile, even if you know what I'm saying, if you could pull that off. And racers, puzzle games, all different types of titles. Like, I mean, I want that bridge of this is my Xbox, this is my console, and nothing's better than this console. To be washed away. I like, look, man, oh, well, I only got, you know what I'm saying, I don't have all the consoles, I only got, somebody says I only got just, this particular console. And then you say, well, I got the other console. What game is that you got? Like, well, I got this game. Well, that's crossplay. We can all play together. That's my dream, is that I want to see those. I want to see all different types of games be available for everyone. And listen, I know that this is going to be unpopular for me to say, because people don't like to look forward. They're so stuck into their own little bubble. But I would love for PlayStation to have a version of Game Pass. I would love for Nintendo to have a version of Game Pass. And then they all, and you know what I'm saying, of course, and then like everybody on these consoles can have the ability to subscribe to it. I would love it. I would love it. I you know what I'm saying? Listen, nobody's going to stop buying a PlayStation because if they're a true PlayStation fan, they're always going to go and buy a PlayStation. If somebody is a true fan of Xbox, they're not going to buy a PlayStation. They're going to stay and buy an Xbox. Same thing with Nintendo. Same thing with the PC gaming community. They might dabble and get one other console, but they rather stay on their platform of choice. So if you have the ability to go and get some of those games, that's why PlayStation is making the moves that they're making by putting games on PC. Why not do what they did with MLB The Show and have not every game that they have, but a majority of some of their maybe smaller titles and maybe one of their big titles be available for somebody on Xbox. I would buy that shit in a heartbeat. That would be no thing for me. I would invest into PlayStation's ecosystem to be able to play those games on my console. So that's my dream, is to see everybody have the opportunity to play these games instead of somebody that don't play these games. Here's somebody that they listen to on social media that's telling you that these games are trash, to see for themselves that, oh no, this dude or this chick just lied. They just fraud the public. I really want that. That's a dream for me.
Very nice.
You're like, whoa.
No, that was a lot of information to take in.
Yeah,
and it was pretty dope. It was heartfelt. Like, you could see where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. I really like that whole idea of cross-playing just everywhere. It'd be super dope to be able to play something as simple as a chess game with my lady if she was on a trip. Mm-hmm. Like let's say she's in New York or something like that, and she's playing, and the only way she can play is on her phone, and she doesn't have like Game Pass and all, but she has the game, and I can pull it up on my Xbox, and we can chill and be on the phone and playing the same game, or we could be playing Smash Brothers together. She's on mobile and I'm on Switch or something like that. What I think, at the very least, is cross-play should be available between said console and PC.
Yes.
At the bare minimum.
At the bare minimum.
Absolutely. Like if you're not going to be friends with everybody at the playground, at least have one that is just completely understanding everything you're going through, and will understand everything it's just the communication is there. You're ready to, branch out and reach as many people as possible.
Absolutely.
Because we're in this weird stage where people aren't sure if they want to be niche or if they want to open their arms.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a real awkward situation because you have people opening their arms, but right next to them is a person that's just like them that's just sitting there pissed. That just doesn't want to share. They don't want to be cool with everybody else. They want to be niche. They want to be on their kind of island. And it's like, it's just kind of weird. It brings up a lot of unnecessary tension, but then again, you're never going to please everybody. So, no. I feel like these consoles and stuff like that just need to pick a lane and just yell it from the rooftop.
Right. The old way, yeah, they do know the old way of how gaming is dying. And as an old head myself, I know that sounds crazy, but the reality was set forth to me when I first seen an update done on my 360. I'm like, whoa, an update like a computer on a console? Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that. The PlayStation 3 damn sure wasn't doing that. The Nintendo GameCube wasn't doing that.
Downloading games.
Right, like downloading what?
Even off of a disc. You're just like, why is this downloading? I have the disc.
Right. Like I felt weird. These arcade games, and then something clicked because at first I was like, I'm not doing all this. I'm not doing all that. Now I wish I did, because for what I used to do back then, which mostly everybody used to do, was they get their game, they would beat it or whatever, or if they didn't like it, or if there was a new game that they wanted, they would take it to GameStop and trade it in for something new. And and if you had that game downloaded or stored into a cloud when Xbox was doing that, man, I could have saved so much money because, man, when Back and Pat hit, I was like, yo, I had that game. Oh, man, how much is it? You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think, so, and that was a thing where people were like, oh, disc, oh, man, disc is the only way to go. And I know that there's still people that's still trying to die on that hill. But the reality is, if they shut those servers down on that game, it's just that disc is a coaster. It's no different than this one. It's no different than this thing right here. Once that server is over, it's like, yo, I can't play my games. That's it.
And you better unplug that PlayStation and never put it back online again.
Right. You better keep your older consoles that could play games like that. So if I'm saying, instead of trading them in and doing all this stuff, because now how the future is going, it's being set, is that everything is more interactive. Plus, on top of that, all things is digital. And my last point on this is to make this point too, is that it's funny because there's so many people that have these old ideologies when it comes to gaming, but they expect futuristic and more positive forward thinking for everything else when it comes to music, appliances, cars, everything else. Why would people think that the games need to stay in the Stone Age? That's not going to happen. That's not how these younger kids are going to, that's not how they want to game. That's not how they perceive gaming. The console itself is important for people like us, because I don't know how old you are, but I'm 46. But for somebody like my son, I can play my games on the go. I'd rather be cooler with that. You know what I'm saying? So my son was playing League of Legends at my mom's house. You know what I'm saying? Because he brought his laptop with him. I'm like, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? So that's the thing to me, is like forward thinking like that, to where these services are the future. PlayStation, Nintendo need to hurry up and jump on board so we can all enjoy gaming the way that we all should envision it. Right?
The best way I can put it is, a lot of people have conservative thoughts with liberal intentions.
Very, very, very good point. Well said.
Like they really want to be new, but it's just like, as soon as it's dug into their pocket a little bit,
right?
Like, whoa.
Yeah, wait, wait, hold up, what? No.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you enjoy outside of gaming, my man?
Woo, okay, so this was
tough question.
Tough question, because right now, 3 years ago, I got hurt on the job, and so I've been in recovery. It's been a very long recovery, and we'll see if I can recover from all these injuries. But I will go with something because the question was going to be hunting. I like to hunt, but because I can't do that now. We'll just go with karaoke.
Okay.
I love karaoke. Yeah, I like to do the karaoke. We used to hit the club. We used to hit the small clubs at the early points, and then hit a couple of karaoke spots, and then after that, then we hit the real club. You know what I'm saying, doing our thing. But you know what I'm saying, go chasing. But yeah, we would hit the spots, and I'm like, man, I want to do some singing. And they're like, man, I ain't. And of course, some of the homeboys were like, man, you stupid. I'm like, man, there's gonna be chicks there. Chicks love singing. So, you know, I get up there and sing a couple of songs and stuff, and get going and have some fun, and then that would be the pre warm up, the pre show before we get to the warm up before we get out there to the other type of spots. But yeah, karaoke is my thing, man. I do like it. I enjoy it.
KMEGA phone, got it.
Oh man, that was one of the reasons why I got a 360 again. Is because of a game called Lips. One of my favorite games ever, because it's just it was such an icebreaker. I remember homies would people make fun of me about talking about Lips, but I remember homies would come through and like, man, I got this girl with me, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where to go, man. You know what I'm saying? I know I can't take her to the crib because that's gonna make her feel uncomfortable. And she's like, man, can I come through your crib? I'm like, yeah, come on through. And so they would come, and of course it would be kind of awkward because bringing this girl over to another dude's house. Right. And so then I'm like, all right, let me go ahead and try to do some icebreaking. And for some reason, Lips always was that game. Like you would sit there, and then there would be some, and of course they would look at you crazy because then I was like, hey man, let's sing some of these songs. And then next thing you know, a little drink started be flowing, and then next thing you know, then she's up there singing. Then it was just such an icebreaker. It's just fun. Like it's not trying to be. Nobody is. Yes, nobody's singers. That's like nobody's a talented singer or nothing. But it's just the fact of just having a good time and just enjoying life, man. So yeah, that game has always been special to me, man. And now my wife loves it to death, and so we boot it up every once in a while and get it cracking. So it's fun.
That's what's up. All right. Second to last question is going to be something that's fun that nobody really knows about
you. Man, believe it or not, I mean, I'm a country boy at heart, man. I mean, a lot of people say, man, because there's other people out here in Oklahoma that sounds different than me, so some people don't think I'm even from Oklahoma until I say something wild and I say, let me be country. Well, say I can't enunciate something properly or whatever. So, but I'm a country boy at heart. I like country living, man. I stay in the suburbs, but I'm not, but I love going out there and just being a part of the country life, man. Fishing, hunting, just, doing some dirt dogging, which is getting in a big truck and riding around in the mud, pretty much. Just stuff like that, man. That's me, man. Just a big old country boy.
That's cool. Yeah. He's like, I ain't from the Bronx.
Nah, I ain't from no Bronx, man. I'm from the dirt. I'm from the red clay. I'm out here in this dirt, man, and weeds.
Gotcha. I feel like I'm from Lincoln, Nebraska, so I feel it.
Oh, so you already feel? Yeah. You out there? You got the cornfields out there.
Yeah, we got the cornfields. We got the lakes. We be camping,
the lakes,
shooting, hunting, all that jazz. Oh yeah. But anyways, this last one, it's not really a question as much as it's a request. I want you to describe gaming in 3 words.
Ooh. Gaming is life.
Fire.
Gaming is life.
That's really nice.
Yeah, I mean it is everything. like I've said before, when we did it, it was my, it kept me out of a lot of crazy situations. And then it was like, just I don't know. It's just gaming is just something that just keeps just peaceful for me. Like, I mean, even when I'm in a challenging situation and I'm just in my room and just vibing to maybe maybe a little bit of music or in a game and things is just I don't know. That's just beautiful to me. Like I love the art, the styles I just love the vision of what people do and where they take these games. Like, that's why, from being somebody that was starting off from the Atari or from arcades and then going to this point, like, I mean, I feel blessed to still be here to see it. Like, it is a beautiful thing, and I can't wait what the future holds. And that's why I say I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life, as long as I got breath, or as long as I can, because it's a wonderful hobby, and there's nothing wrong with enjoying this hobby. And gaming, like I said, so that's the whole thing. Gaming is life, man. It is a part of what I am, my essence.
It's one of the few industries in the world that you can literally see how fast the evolution is
Yes.
happening.
Yes. Real talk.
You're literally plugging it into your TV and like now with all these remakes, you're plugging one, thing to a TV with HDMI, and then you might plug another one with the composite things and whatnot, and you compare and contrast, and it's like, that was only 10 years ago?
Right, like, yeah, what? Like, what? That was true. That looked awful. Yeah, like I used to game on it. But
go back in your mind and you're like, man, I remember that being the greatest thing in the world.
Talk about it. That was, I was just going to say that, like, man, you used to brag about how, like, Resident Evil, the first Resident Evil on the PlayStation 1, right? Oh, man, we couldn't believe how, man, them graphics was great. Oh my God. And when we seen a CG trailer to any game, oh man, this is what I'm talking about. Like that, all that, and then now you look at the in-game graphics and things like that, and then when somebody comes and say, oh man, that's trash. It just rubs the wrong way. Like, what? And I understand, there's a lot of younger people that hasn't experienced gaming from the dirt, from the beginning. But I'm like, damn, what? I see nothing but just greatness right here. Like, this is what I'm talking about. So, and that's another thing too, is that I guess to add another, and I won't say genre, but another type of game is the 8-bit games. I don't play a lot of those because I've already been there, done that. There's only a few.
It's hard to go back.
It's hard to go back. I just can't do that. I'm just like, there's some games I'm like, oh, that's really fun. But for the most part, I just kind of avoid those games because I'm like, I've been there. Give me something like The Ascent. You know what I'm saying? Give me that.
Yeah. So. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's just been such a crazy life. Yes. Living with gaming as part of it. I remember the first time I seen like a Sega CD being stacked on top of like with another console, like next to each other. I was just like, did y'all do that on purpose? Like what is going on here? How are these mingling right now? You got a Genesis right next to a Sega CD, like. Where and I was like 5 or 6 years old, so I'm like hella lost. I don't even understand how to turn this thing on, let alone how to push it all together. So like it's crazy. I mean, we have all these things with TVs and sound systems and everything like that evolutionized, but to have something interactive like for hours where you're constantly holding, constantly controlling. Like video games is literally something, like I said earlier, that you see the improvement in constantly. The evolution is like unstoppable. But
It is a
anyways,
beautiful
I'd
thing.
like to thank you, KMEGA, for
man.
being on my show, Behind Them Sticks, my man. Thank you.
Man, I really do appreciate it, man. This was really fun. You got me with the game consoles, because I was thinking like, oh yeah, because I was just thinking like you was just gonna go in order, because I had them in my mind in order. And then when you flipped them, I'm like, oh man. And so I was like, oh man. So
Sorry
I'm a
about
fraud.
that Nomad, dog.
Yeah, and the Nomad, I was like, what? So yeah, that's something that I'm going to definitely bring up and see how many people know about the Nomad, man. That was some really
it's
good
fun
game,
because the people that have been playing games for the longest time, I get to use sneaky things like the Nomad, because it's the same thing as the Genesis, it's just handheld.
Yeah.
So I get to use something tricky. Even though it's the same thing, you just are thinking differently, so you're not even looking in that direction.
No, when you said Nomad, I'm like, oh man, and I don't even know what my face looked like, but I was like, I don't even know what that is. I'm not even gonna lie or pretend like, oh yeah, the Nomad, yeah, bro, I used to play that. No, man, I'm not even gonna fraud the public like that. No, I didn't know nothing about that shit, man. That was excellent. That was really cool, man. I appreciate it, man.
All right,
Game acknowledged.
Well, if you guys like the show, don't forget to like and subscribe to your boy Behind Them Sticks, Ham Solo. I am one of those content creators on that channel. Also with Loke7 and Kalela Plays. You guys should definitely check out those episodes of They Said, We Said, as well as some of the reviews that are on the channel. But we're out of here. Again, thank you for coming out, my man.
All right, man. Thank you for having me, man. This was really fun, man. And keep doing the good work, man. This is what gaming needs, man.
Thank you.
So, yeah, bless you, bro.
Yeah, all right. See y'all later. Have a wonderful day.